Once upon a time, there lived a prince named Ram. He had a beautiful wife called Sita and a brave brother named Lakshman. They all lived together in a big, fancy palace. One day, Ram had to leave the palace and go live in the forest for many years. Sita and Lakshman went with him because they loved him very much. In the forest, they built a small hut made of wood and leaves. It wasn't fancy like their palace, but they were happy because they were together. Every morning, birds would sing beautiful songs. And butterflies would dance around their little home. They enjoyed their simple life in the green forest. One sunny morning, Ceda was sitting outside their hut when she saw something amazing. A golden deer. It sparkled like gold jewelry. And moved like it was dancing. Its fur shone so bright in the sunlight that it looked magical. Ceda fell in love with the deer. Amazed by how beautiful the deer was, Ceda turned to Ram.
Ram, look at that deer. Isn't it the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? Can you catch it for me, please?
Ram loved making Sita happy, so he smiled and agreed.
Of course, I'll catch it for you.
But wait! Was this deer really just a pretty animal? Or was it something else? Before leaving, Ram turned to his brother Lakshman.
Stay here with Sita and keep her safe.
Don't worry, brother. I promise nothing will happen to Sita.
Ram turned to look at both Sita and Lakshman one more time, as if to say everything will be okay. Then he picked up his bow and arrows and started chasing the golden deer into the forest. The deer was very clever. Every time Ram got close, it would jump away and run further into the forest. It was like playing a game of tag, but the deer was always winning. Every time Ram thought, "Got you," the deer would leap even further away, almost like it was making fun of him and saying, "Ha ha, you can't catch me." Ram ran and ran, following the deer deeper and deeper into the dark forest. He didn't know that this was exactly what someone very bad wanted him to do. You see, the golden deer wasn't really a deer at all. It was actually a mean demon named Marisha, who was working for the most evil king in the world, named Ravan. Ravan had a terrible plan. He wanted to take Sita away from Ram. So he told Maricha to become a beautiful deer and trick Ram into chasing him far, far away from home. And the plan was working. Ram was getting further and further away from Sita and Lakshman. Then suddenly, the golden deer stopped running. It stood still, as if it was saying, "Okay, now you can catch me," Ram thought. "This is my chance." He got his bow ready. He pulled back his bow and shot an arrow straight at the golden deer. The arrow hit the deer, but then something scary happened. The beautiful golden deer started changing. It grew bigger and bigger, and its pretty fur turned black and ugly. It wasn't a deer anymore. It was a horrible demon. This was all a trap made by the most evil king, Ravan. The demon started laughing so loud that all the trees shook, like they were scared too. But the demon wasn't finished with his tricks yet. As the demon was dying, he used his last bit of magic to do something very sneaky. He shouted for help, but he made his voice sound exactly like Ram's voice.
Help me, Lakshman.
The demon cried, sounding just like Ram. The sound traveled through the forest like the wind, all the way back to the little hut where Sita and Lakshman were waiting. After the demon fell down and stopped moving, the forest became very quiet again. The demon's sneaky plan had worked perfectly. Back at their little hut, everything was peaceful and calm until Ram's loud cry broke through the quiet forest. Sita heard what sounded like Ram calling for help. She got very, very scared.
Lakshman, something is wrong. You have to go help Ram right away.
But Lakshman was smart. He shook his head and said no.
Don't worry, Sita Ma. Ram will be fine.
Even though Lakshman tried to make her feel better, Sita still felt worried and scared in her heart.
Please, Lakshman, go to Ram. Something is wrong. I'm sure of it.
Lakshman felt sad seeing Sita, so worried. What should he do? Finally, Lakshman decided he would go look for Ram just to make Sita feel better.
All right, Sita Ma. I'll go to Ram.
But first, he had to make sure Sita would be safe. Lakshman knelt down and started drawing a line in the dirt all around their hut. But this wasn't just any ordinary line. It glowed with magic light.
This is the Lakshman Rekha. It will protect you while I'm gone. If anyone tries to step inside it, they will burn and die on the spot. Only you can step outside without harm. But promise me you won't step outside this line, no matter what happens.
Lakshman's words carried the weight of his love and duty. Sita could see the concern in his eyes, and she knew the Lakshman Rekha was more than just a line. It was a symbol of his trust and care. Sita nodded and agreed.
I promise, Lakshman. I won't step outside the line until you return with Ram.
Lakshman turned and left. He ran into the forest to look for his brother. Now Sita was all by herself. The forest seemed very quiet and a little scary without Ram and Lakshman there. She sat inside the magic line, waiting and waiting. The sun was getting lower in the sky, and still no one came back. Then, out of nowhere, she heard a gentle voice.
Dear lady.
Ceda looked up and saw a very old man walking toward her hut. He looked tired and hungry. He was carrying an empty bowl.
I am a poor sage, traveling through the forest. Could you offer me some food?
Sita felt very sorry for the old man. Sita went inside the hut to get some food. She had always been taught to help people who were hungry and sad. When she came back, she walked toward the old man to give him the food, but then she stopped. The magic line was right in front of her feet. She remembered what Lakshman had said, never ever step outside this line. But the poor old man looked so hungry and sad. What harm could it do to just step out for 1 second to help him? What should I do? Sita thought to herself. Sita's kind heart made her decision. She stepped over the magic line to give food to the old man. The moment her foot crossed the line, something horrible happened. The kind old man started growing bigger and bigger. His white hair turned black, his gentle face became mean and scary, and his eyes glowed red like fire. It wasn't a poor old man at all. It was Ravan, the evil demon king. Sita screamed for help. But before she could run back inside the magic line, Ravan grabbed her and flew away into the sky towards his kingdom. Poor Sita, if only she had listened to Lakshman and stayed inside the magic line. What do we learn from this? Sometimes grown-ups make rules to keep us safe, even when we don't understand why. The magic line wasn't there to be mean to Sita. It was there to protect her. And sometimes, bad people might pretend to be nice to trick us. That's why it's important to listen to our parents and the people who love us when they tell us about staying safe. Just like Sita, we all have magic lines in our lives, rules that keep us safe. Maybe it's not talking to strangers, or not going to certain places alone, or not sharing personal information online. These rules aren't there to make us sad. They're there because people who love us want to keep us safe. But wait, what happened to Ram when he found out Sita was gone? And how did Lakshman feel when he came back and saw the empty hut? Well, that's another exciting story for another day. Comment Yes, if you want to hear what happens next. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories like this one. The most important thing to remember is, rules that keep us safe are like magic lines. They protect us even when we can't see the danger.